Good morning students, welcome to your computer class. Students, today we are going to start with a new chapter which is logging on to MS Access 2010. Students, in our earlier classes, in your previous session, you remember we learnt about Microsoft Excel, and we also learnt about how we build a very simple and small database and how we maintain it. Now here we are going to learn about complex and high data security data warehousing system, which is called as the database or database management system. So students, here earlier we were just dealing with if you remember, I told you an example where in a small business, or if you have a small shop, you can have Microsoft Excel and you can run your entire business. You don't need any other software. But in MS Access, we need a complete warehouse of data. For example, if you have a huge warehouse of data, so you can imagine a building which is filled with all files, every room from top to bottom is filled with files. Now in that condition, if you are asked to pull out one particular file and you don't know in which room it is, it would be highly difficult for you to find it. But here it becomes quite easier for one to find those information. Now that is called as the database management system, or DBMS, where we are dealing with large amount of data. Now let's first understand what is a database. A database is an organized way of storing information. Now it helps us to manage and access large amount of information quickly and efficiently. So if you have a data which is arranged and which has got a large amount of file, and very quickly and efficiently if you can get information out of it, then you can call it as a database. Now this is the database. What is a database management system? Now database management system is a software program that enables us to create, modify and extract data from the database. What does this mean? This means that one particular file which I am taking out from that building, I should be able to edit it, make changes to it and securely save it back there, so that next time when I pull that particular file, the information is updated there. Now what is RDBMS? This was the DBMS. Now the relationship which we establish between a DBMS is called as the RDMS. In a very simple words, let's focus and let's see the definition what's given in our book. It says a DBMS that stores data in the form of tables and enable you to join the tables by creating a link between them is called the relational database management system. So a standalone database is DBMS, and one which has got relationship with different files, one building of files connected to another building of files, another building of file connected to another room of files. When there is a relationship between them, then we call it as the RDBMS. So here we are going to learn about RDBMS, which is Relational Database Management System. Now there is one more difference, students, between DBMS and RDBMS, and that is the security. DBMS files are not considered that safe when compared to RDBMS. They are much more secure. So rest of the differences you don't need to focus on, because that's a kind of a high level which we are going to learn when we are talking about more advanced features of RDBMS, like when we are discussing about a MySQL or Oracle SQL. Now what are the advantages of a database? Now there are some advantages of the database, which is reduced data redundancy. Students, this is a very important word, which is redundancy. Redundancy means duplication of data. Here it means that the duplication of data is reduced to almost zero. So it is impossible for a file to duplicate a data here. Facilitates sharing of data. Now different users can use the same database to share information, check and then save it back to its original position. Now this ensures data security. Now in DBMS, database administration, the administrator, the person who has created the file or the person who owns that file has got the complete control of the file. So when I am sharing this file, for example, with different people who are at different geographical location, they can view the file, they can check it, and it depends upon me whether I am granting them read only access or edit access also. If I give them edit access, then whatever changes they make, then all the files at different geographical locations will get changed, as well as the one which is there in my administrator rights will also get changed. So this ensures data security. Now reduced updates on errors and increased consistency. Now first let's try to understand about data inconsistency. Now I have 5 offices at 5 different locations. One is in New York, one is in Seattle, one is in Ontario, which is in Canada, the other is in Copenhagen, and one is in Moscow. Now I have, in the morning when I came to work, I have shared all these 5 files, to my 5 locations, to my 5 offices. Now the moment they open it, to view the file, they try to make some changes, or they attempt to make some changes. Now what will happen at the end of the day? If I don't have an administrator rights, when I get the file back from them, I would see all the data completely jumbled up, misarranged, or there will be lot of duplicates entries. This is called as data inconsistency. Now here, if I am at an administrator rights, I have the complete control of the database. I can ensure that nobody can make changes, and if they want to make changes, that has to go through me. So this reduces the chances of errors and inconsistency. Next is the maintaining standards. Now students, different organizations have different ways of maintaining a database. Some organization may have a serial number first, some organization may have the date column first, some organization may have the bill number first. So whatever format they have made, that the same format continues throughout the organization or throughout that particular department. So there are standard and international standards also which they maintain, especially when we talk about International Principles of Accounting, which is the generally accepted accounting principles, with GAAP. So which GAAP you are following? So there are 2 types of rules which we follow of GAAP. One is the Indian type of GAAP, one is the American style of GAAP. So this is generally used for financial purpose. If the company follows the Indian method, then the templates would be arranged in Indian method, and if the business follows the American method, then the templates would be arranged in an American method. So this standardized the complete process across the department. Now here we are going to start with our topic, which is Microsoft Access 2010. Now it is a very popular RDBMS that comes as a part of Microsoft Office Suite. Now what is Microsoft Office Suite? If you remember, I spoke about in my earlier classes that how Microsoft Word, Excel and PowerPoint along with other applications come together. That is called as, the combination of these programs are called as suite. So it is used to organize and manipulate data. It organizes data in the form of tables. So in Access, we are getting an idea of what we will be doing. We will be working on tables. It also provides us the facilities to create these tables using common fields. Now, when we are working on MS Access, you would see I would be working more on the table, and how will we establish the relationship between these tables, and we will be creating other types of reports also. Next comes is the objects in MS Access. What is an object? So there are objects are different characteristics, you can call it as, which are there, or different features of Microsoft Access. The first thing or the basic thing is the table. Without the table, we cannot do anything. So you can call it as it is our bread and butter. Now tables are building blocks of database. They can store complete data in structured manner. Structured manner means how the rows and columns are arranged, how the fields are arranged, and we are going to feed the data accordingly. For example, in the number field, we can only enter the numbers and not the alphabets, and in alphabets we can only enter the alphabets and not the numbers. So there are specific rules for it. Unlike in Excel where in any cell you can go ahead and type it and type the information, here it is not like that. And you will get only that amount of fields which you first exhausted. What does this mean? This means once I complete using all those fields, then only I can add another field to my table. Next comes the query. Now queries are a kind of a system which helps us to get information when a specified condition is fulfilled. What is this? Let's go back to the book and see. It says they let you find and work on the data from one or more multiple tables according to the specified condition. So that means until and unless the particular condition is filled, it will not get back the result. For example, if I run a query of saying I want a report of 2010. That's my first condition. My second condition is July. So July 2010. And the third condition which I put in is the date, that is 20th July. 20th July 2010, I want a report. Now, what report do I want? Suppose, for example, the company deals in 4 or 5 models of a system, of a laptop. Then if I specify the model name, then exactly that particular data will come and display on my screen. So what is it? It's a query. Query is kind of a question which we run to get the particular information which we want. Next comes is the forms. Now this provides us an interface that lets the user enter and change the data in the table. So it helps us to go ahead and change data in tables. Next comes is the reports. These are kind of output. So generally we say if forms are inputs, then reports are output. So if you feed some data, then the output what we get is the reports. Now these are used to display this data stored in database in professional format, and generally this is used for printing purpose. Now generally you would have seen for taxation, when people file taxes, they need some kind of documentation, the hard copy of the documentation. So in such cases, we take the printout of the reports. Now starting with MS Access 2010. Okay, I am sorry, I missed a field here. Now what is MS Access? So if you see the MS Access, there are certain tables, there are certain ways in which we can open MS Access, which is start. We'll click on start, we'll click on all programs, we'll click on Microsoft Office, and then Microsoft Office 2010. The moment we do that, the document will open up in our page. So that particular thing will open up in our page. So generally there are 2 methods of creating a database. So one is the creating a blank database, and the second thing is creating the templates, the installed templates which are there. So these are the 2 methods which we use. So first we are going to learn about the blank database, because that will give us the insight about how we will go ahead and use our information. So what we have to do, very simple. First thing, we will click on File tab, we will click on New option, we will click on Blank Database. Under the available templates, we will type a name to our database in the file name text box and click on the Create button. This is very simple. The only difference, students, if you see here, is the file name text box. You won't get the Save As option here. You will be going ahead and you will be putting your name in the file name text box. This is very, very different, and before this we have not tried it out in any other application. So what is important here to learn, because in your practical examination, when you go to your further classes, I'm going to ask you to save the file, and this is the place where you will be going ahead and putting the name, so which is step 4. So that's the file name text box. That's where you go ahead and put the name of your file and you save it. Now the standard file name extension for database is .accdb. So students, this is the file extension for Microsoft Access 2010. So students, this brings us to the end of the class. What is our homework? Our first homework is to tick the correct option, and we will be doing question number 1 and question number 2 in our computer notebook, which is what is a database, and question number 2, which is what do you understand by RDBMS. So students, just in case if you have any doubts, if you have any questions, feel free to reach me through the comment section. So till then, stay home and stay healthy.